Zdravo, Slavo, Slavo. Hello, hi. Say hi. Say hi to your mommy's followers. Nole. Well, hello there. I'm Slagina, or you can call me Slagi, and welcome to my channel. You see this cutie boy? Cute baby boy. Well, he's 2 months old and I recently gave birth to him. And in this video I would like to speak to you to tell you more about my experience with the labor, which was a natural labor, no epidural. Yes, I'm very proud. Mommy is proud. Mommy is proud. So, let's see like this. Oppa. Oppa. Shall we start? So mommy was in the 39th week of my pregnancy and it was a Wednesday, 24th of July, and I went on my regular weekly visit to the doctor. Being that it was a 39th week, I was impatient, to be honest, and I really wanted to stay that day and give birth that day. But anyways, they did a check. I was open only 1 centimeter, which is nothing, and they did the sweep. The doctor said that I may start bleeding after that, and then if the bleeding is way too much, then I shall go to the hospital immediately. But if not, I should wait, of course, for the contractions or for the water to break. After the visit on that Wednesday, 24th of July, I went home, and yes, there was a bit of blood. I panicked a bit, but then I didn't know how much is too much. I called the hospital. They said like it has to be like a period blood, you know, or if my water breaks, or if the contractions become separate on 5 minutes, then it's time for me to go to the hospital. So of course it was way too early, Nole. Yes, it was. I stayed home all day with contractions. Yes, they started, but they were not that painful. I could cope with them very normally, easily. But then I knew that on the 25th, suppose I give birth. And also that is the day that me and my partner agreed that this baby should come to the world. Why? Because I'm born on 23rd, my boyfriend is on the 27th, so of course 25th belongs to Novak. So, ladies, I'm sure only ladies are watching this because that's what I did and it helped me a lot, YouTube videos. So I want to help you too. I want to help you. We want to help them. As I said, so all day full of contractions, easy to cope with them. At midnight, exactly at midnight, me and my boyfriend went to bed, and I remember my boyfriend said, okay, wake me up when it's time to go to the hospital. We laid down in the bed, of course, and I started counting my contractions. They became very often. So they started coming on like 15 minutes. Up to 2 after midnight. At 2 in the midnight, I woke up. I was not even sleeping actually. I get out of the bed and I went in the living room because I was using and I'm still using the application Baby Center, which I highly recommend it to all of you. Ooh, ooh. Yes, on that application I started counting on how often my contractions will come. By 4:30 in the morning, they started coming every 5 minutes. And then I knew, okay, it is time for labor, to go to the hospital. How are you feeling? Huh? What do you want? What do you want? Bitty, 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 bitty. Booty, booty. He also always wants to see what's happening around. So, I woke up my boyfriend, it was 4:30, and I said, I was very calm, and I told him it's time to go to the hospital. Hospital, Mater Dei, which is in Malta, is just like 3 minutes by car from the place we live, so we reached very fast. There was a midwife, I believe she was, and she gave me a sleeping dress, and then she said, okay, put this on and I will check you once again. She checked me, and I was still open only 1 centimeter. But then she said, okay, we will leave you here, we will not send you back home, we will keep monitoring the contractions, also the baby, and so and so. So that was in the morning, and I also started taking, in the hospital, I also started taking the mask. which is oxygen, and it makes you high. We're used to being high, no problem, right? So after a couple of hours, they moved me from the labor department section, how to say it, ward, to the other ward, where all the ladies were with their contractions, yelling and screaming and everything. So yes, it was painful, but I could cope. So I stayed basically the whole day in the hospital, walking around the alley of the hospital, counting the contractions, breathing, and only breathing and and praying to God and everything. Things were going very well. I remember at one point my boyfriend went home, as I said, because we live very close, and at that moment I had like very strong contractions and I started crying. I didn't want to be alone, and then after he went, only 15 minutes later, I called him and I said, come back, let's see how you're gonna react here. Will you enjoy your time here? Booty! Let's see. Okay, he will be naughty now. My boyfriend came back, he was with me once again, walking around, just waiting. Women screaming all around. The most interesting thing is that in my room next to me there was an Italian lady. She didn't want to take anything for pain, not even the mask, and she was in big pains, very big pains. Suddenly there were like, I don't know, 5 doctors and midwives around her, talking to her. And one moment she started saying like, oh my god, caca. And one of the midwives, it's not the caca, it's the baby. So apparently the baby was all coming. The baby was coming, but they didn't have a free room in the delivery ward. So they kept her here next to me, and I was like, okay, this is what is waiting for me. Get ready, prepare yourself. Well, the word that I used to explain what was this lady going through, it was exorcism. The exorcism of Family Rhodes. I don't know her name though. They took her, so I believe she gave birth. I hope everything is okay. The funny thing was, while she was screaming and yelling over there, I was like with my mask. What can I tell you about the contractions? So, definitely it's much easier to cope with the contraction if you're standing or walking. It was worse if I was laying or sitting. Don't, please, never ever try to change a position during a contraction. It's disaster. So mainly I was breathing through the mask. Sometimes even I coped with the contraction even without the mask. So it isn't anything that you cannot handle. Hey, okay, coming back to mommy. Let's go on your tummy. Wapa, opala, bravo. Ay. He doesn't like it. Huh? Come on, turn around. Later on, again my boyfriend went home. It was around 6 o'clock, I think. I felt something coming out, which was actually the water breaking. It wasn't much. I was even not sure if that's it, but knowing that nothing else could happen, I said, okay, yes, this is the water. So I went, Papa, Opala, come to mama, come to mama, Opala. So I went in the alley, called midwife, and I said, I think my water broke. And she said, okay, I'm coming to check you. She came, and here happened one of the most uncomfortable things during the whole pregnancy, I think, because basically she needed to check me without a gel on her gloves. So she put her fingers without the gel, and she put some, like a small stick, and then she checked and she said, yes, the water is broke. Why she didn't put a gel was because the gel will apparently make it a problem for the test to be checked if the water is broken. And after 15 minutes, here I see like 4 midwives coming all around me. And they said, okay, we need to put cannula, we're getting ready for the labor wards, and like, it's time, you know. And I was saying, no, wait for my boyfriend. While they were trying to put the needle, the cannula, they missed the vein, so I had like a big bruise here in the following days, but then they put it over here and everything was fine. In the meantime, my boyfriend came and we went to the labor room. There was one doctor, the doctor that actually gave birth to me. I think that the first thing that they did was actually to break my water even more. That was also interesting feeling. I was laying on the bed, she put like another stick in me and suddenly I just felt like a hot water on my thighs. Baby, hey, mommy, let's make this video and then I will play with you. We play together, like this. After the water was broken even more, she asked me what do I want for pain. I said I just want. Hey, shh, okay. Shh. And I said, okay, I need to take care of this and see you later. Alright, I'll let him. He's watching cartoons now. Hopefully he will stay calm until the end of the video. So, as I said, it was around 7 o'clock when they broke my water even more. I felt like all warm water on my thighs. It was a very interesting experience, unique experience. And they put those things around me to monitor the baby, and the doctor, she just went outside. She left the ball to jump on the ball. Those Pilates ball, they're very, very helpful. They help you to put the baby in the right position for the labor. And of course I was there together with my boyfriend. Interesting thing to know that yes, he was also breathing from the mask. At one moment I remember I started feeling very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. This thing I forgot to tell you. I was telling about, she asked me what do I want against pain. So I just had the mask and I said I want the Pethidine. And I asked her, can you tell me what is the Pethidine for? I even asked her like, after how long can I take another one? She said like 4 hours, but I don't believe you will need another one. And then I asked her what are the benefits of the Pethidine, because it's injection that they put in your buttocks. She said Pethidine will help you cope with the pain and open easily. Alright, perfect. So bigger, more stronger contractions started and it was really intense, really intense. So if I can explain it, what was happening is that you start feeling the pain from here and suddenly it's like spreading and all this part is like in pain and it takes all of your body. You just wait for it to pass because you know that it's passing and then it's coming again. I remember jumping on the ball helped me a lot, and then I started feeling very uncomfortable. I wanted to remove that night dress that I was wearing, and at that time even the doctor came. Because I removed everything that I had. I needed to go to the toilet and she was like, why did you remove everything? We're monitoring you from the outside, like at least tell me when you want to go to the toilet or something, I will remove them. And I was like, I'm feeling very uncomfortable, I want to remove this night dress. And she was like, alright, but cover your breasts. I said like, of course I'm gonna cover them. There was a bit like tension there. And she went out once again after a while. Contractions all the time. I started vomiting, probably because of the Pethidine, because of the masks, because of the pain and everything. I was vomiting something like green yellowish liquid. And then the doctor came again. She puts a saline water to drip, so I feel a bit better. So everything was happening in those 3 hours, like from 7 until 11. At one moment I remember I was having very strong contractions. I was even calling on God, calling my mom and everything. Like, I was on the bed, on my knees, and suddenly to my boyfriend I said like, oh my God, I'm peeing, I'm peeing, or the water is leaking, I don't know what's happening. It was actually the water, and it was like liters of water, hot water coming down. My boyfriend called the doctor, she came and she said like, oh, that's the baby turning the head, let me check you. And then I was like 6 centimeters open. And she said, alright, keep jumping on the ball, and she left the room once again. And she said, when you feel the need to push, call me. I don't remember quite how long it passed from that point, from that moment, but I know that everything happened so quickly. Those 3 hours were really, I don't understand when the time passed actually in those 3 hours. And as I was jumping on that ball, all in contractions and pain, and suddenly I feel something a bit different, like a tension down. And I'm to my boyfriend saying like, okay, I don't know, but please call the doctor, I think this is the need to push. And the doctor comes and she tells me like, go on the bed, let me check you again. And she's telling me like, alright, when I tell you to push, you push. Oh my god, I couldn't believe that it's time to push actually. And ladies, guys, whoever is watching this, I pushed my baby out in 7 minutes. 4 or 5 contractions. I was really listening to the doctor, what is she saying, like, she said push, I push with the whole strength that I have in me. I didn't care what is happening down there, not at all, I didn't care. So there were like 2-3 contractions where I was pushing in one moment, and she told me like, when there is a contraction you push, when the contraction stops, you stop. Once she told me like, don't push now, and I was like not pushing, but then I felt the baby coming, like probably it was the head. And then it was the last time when she told me push, and then I pushed strong as I can, and there it is, I saw it. I saw that cute baby in front of me with the cord. Of course, he started crying immediately. Wah, wah, wah. I was like so grateful and so happy that I saw him perfect. Immediately they gave it to me. So it was only the doctor and my boyfriend in the room. They gave it to me. He was crying. I tried to give him the breast. Of course, he didn't take it immediately. He was crying. Then, of course, the doctor took out the placenta. She showed it to me. It was like, ooh, like something like that, all like red and blood and things. And of course, then there was a time for the stitches. I didn't have outside stitches, but inside, which hurt even more. It took like 40 minutes for the stitches. In the meantime, they changed the baby, they did what they had to do. My boyfriend cut the cord, of course. We took some photos. The first photo, we couldn't go without the first photo there. And definitely I want to mention that after the birth, when we were getting ready to go in the other ward after the labor, I felt like in another dimension, like in a movie, like in another reality. Something was different, like my mind conscious was on another level, a higher level, like literally I was like seeing the things from higher, which happened the same to my cousin. She gave birth after 4 days, and she felt the same. My boyfriend, I remember he was all around. I know he was touching me with the wet cloth on my face. I'm not sure if at one moment I told him like, don't touch me. I don't remember that part. But I know that I didn't need somebody to actually touch me. No, I didn't need it. I didn't need it. And yes, he was standing next to me. I told him, don't dare look down. So yes, and then also it was so painful, ladies, moms-to-be. It was so painful that after the birth I said I'm not giving a birth to another child. But then after a while you forget everything, so now I'm ready for another one. Yeah, long story short, I believe this is it, what's interesting to know. I didn't want the epidural because for me it was much more complicated. And I really wanted to experience the labor in its natural way as much as possible. So yes, it was really like a spiritual experience for me, unique experience, and the best experience, extraordinary experience that I will ever have. Something that I will never forget. Yes, I would like to mention about the smell, a unique smell I felt when I took the baby. He had a unique smell probably from the water that he was in. The same smell stayed with me with the blood that I was having in the next 40 days. Well, keep in mind that it's not a period blood, it is a blood from the cells that the placenta was taken away, and they're healing, of course, and that's why there is that blood that has the same smell as the baby had until we gave him bath in the second day. So, thank you for watching my video. I need to take care of that crying baby there, naughty baby. He's missing his mommy. And of course, I will update you with more experiences and many motherhood things, everything that follows. Just stay tuned, subscribe, and give the support needed. Love you all. Bye bye.